It was at a bar called El Divino in McAllen. Well, we had met through mutual friends that had, I guess, it was a guy that I went to college with, and then a girl that Gio was working with when she was doing home health. But at this time she was living in Beaumont. And I don't know if I've ever even told her this. I told you this even. I did not want to go. I was living in Brownsville at the time. It was an hour drive. I actually had a date the night before where I was stood up, and I was just like, you know what? I don't want to deal with it. But my friend was persistent. George, he told me, he's like, you know what, Sam, come on, come up. You haven't been up here in a while, let's do it. And Gio, true to her form, was an hour and a half late. She came with her cousin Danielle. It was the first night I met Danielle as well, and we had a couple of drinks at El Divino. Me and my friend had eaten, and then she took me to, what was the name of the club?
I took him to Tri Bar.
I'm gonna say I grew up a little. I lived in Dallas. Well, this was my very first time in a club in the Rio Grande Valley, and I'm gonna say, long story short, culture shock would be the best way to describe it. But at any rate, we had a great time, and then we made plans to meet each other the next day. We met for sushi again in typical Gio form. She was an hour and a half late. An hour, I'm sorry. But she thought my name was Chris. She had it plugged into her phone. It was Chris. And a funny story about that was this also made me kind of wonder a little bit, because when we were doing our engagement photos, the guy that was doing the shoot kept calling me Chris too. So I don't really know. But at any rate, I knew from that first meeting, I knew that, and I think I've told her this one, I knew that I was either going to marry her or she was going to break my heart. So, but it was an interesting courtship. You know, Gio she was living in Beaumont at the time, and she had told me every single time we text back and forth, and you know, we're kind of how would I say it? I was a little bit more like I would send her a message and then she would answer when she could, and she's always been a little bit more of the wants it done right away. So when she's at work, it was starting to irritate her, and she snaps at me and she tells me, and her exact words, and I remember this, and I'm like, okay, well, we'll see what happens. But she told me, Sam, I'm gonna be coming back, and I'm not gonna date anyone. I don't want a boyfriend. I'm not looking for that. It's not gonna happen. And here we are. Because it was school, yeah. Because she had her school, she was doing it. It's been an adventure, because we've always had that just slightly off schedules. I mean, I work from the 8 to 5, and she was working, I think at this time you were working the 11 to 11?
11 to 11, 3P to 3A.
Yeah, and so so there were a lot of times where I would drive from Brownsville to Knapp, would wait in my car for an hour to finish up work, just so we could have 30 minutes together getting to have dinner. And it's been, I mean, I would spend more time in the car than I would actually get to spend with her. So it's been.
Because I had reports due, and it was always something.
But through all of that,
yes.
Oh yeah. Through all of that, I proposed to her in the parking lot at Knapp.
Oh, you did? Yeah.
So that was the joke. We're actually there. The joke was why we're not getting married there. But
there's a chapel at the church, so that everybody joked the next day, because it's a small hospital, so everybody knew about it the next day. So they said, you're going to get married at the church, you're going to have your reception at the little reception hall that we have there too, and then you're going to have your babies here. I was like, oh, stop. It was an ongoing joke.
But you know, through all of it, it's been a wild ride, but the best part about that, the best part of the distance, the best part of some of those little difficulties was it really forced us to start communicating, to force us to start like working out our problems. It would have been so easy every single time you say, you know what, this is just, it's too much work. But you know, it was worth it. I mean, I'm looking, tomorrow we get to marry a person that truly not only makes me better, but makes me want to be better for her, for myself, for just to be a better person. And she brought me back to the church. I can't say enough about her. I love you so much, and I'm so lucky.
I love you.